Now we got all the minor hiccups out of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, Toyota fans, welcome back to another Toyota Tuesday. I'm Brian from Sixth Gear Garage, and I have with me over here Clinton from Dirt Garage.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Sorry about the minor delay there. We had a little technical difficulty. Big announcement though, this is going to be the last show on my channel. As you know, we've been announcing every show that we're going to move the show over to its own dedicated channel called Toyota Tuesdays. Go ahead and subscribe there. I will post a link for you right here. It's also up in the pinned comment there. But go over there and subscribe, and you will still be notified of the updating future shows. Um,
And real quick, let us know if you can hear both of us clearly, because that's
yeah,
what we are having difficulties with before we started.
definitely, definitely do that. I think we got that worked out. So yeah,
Yeah.
other thing is we're no longer using Skype. We're using Zoom now, and that was the difficulty. The sound quality is so much better,
Yeah.
and it works. So that's nice.
I think the picture quality is better too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So lots of improvements to the show and much more to come. So get over there and please subscribe if you haven't already. I think at last time I checked, we had like 60 subscribers already to the show. So
Awesome.
yeah, um, right off the bat, we got some questions. Isaac, I did get your truck photos. We'll look at those emails here in a little bit. Um, AXA, what happens if I drive without a dipstick? Um, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world short term, but I wouldn't do it for very long because you're going to get all
No.
kinds of debris and stuff like that that gets in your engine bay. If you ever looked like in the intake of like a fuel injected car, you'll see all like the little dirt and pebbles and tiny stones. You don't want any of that going down in your dipstick tube. So I wouldn't do it for too long, unless it's just an emergency situation.
That's how you're supposed to check your oil without a dipstick.
That too, yeah.
I'd definitely replace it. If you're missing it, I'd definitely go find one sooner than later.
Yeah, especially if your engine's leaking as much oil as mine is, you might want to get that dipstick ASAP.
I mean,
Um,
it's still got oil if it's still leaking.
there you go. If it's not knocking, you don't need a new dipstick yet.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, John. So yeah, we do have a good sound quality on both of us. Appreciate it, guys.
Perfect.
Thanks for being our tech support here today. Um, so story time, Clinton. Tell us what happened to you, your near death experience.
Well, yeah. So I went wheeling on Saturday. A beautiful spot up in the mountains, up in the Alpine. It's a valley that's very long and ends in a lake. So we go down this trail, set up camp at this lake. It was still really early in the day, like it was like 4 p.m., still lots of daylight. And just to the left of this lake, there is a shale hill, or not hill, mountain, with a couple of old switchbacks going up it, which you can't drive up. It's been slid multiple times. There's massive boulders on it. But at the top of it, there's a couple of ice caves. So what me and Corey decided to do was to hike up this to go check out the ice caves. And we did. It was awesome. It's a nice little hike. But on our way down, uh, we encountered a grizzly bear, like within like 50 feet of us, like dead ahead of us on the trail. And as soon as we noticed it, the bugger started charging us, which was the most terrifying experience of my life, to be chased by a grizzly bear. And at that moment, fight or flight instinct kicked in. We just booked it straight down this mountain. We ditched the road and just went straight down this shale mountainside. Luckily, the bear stopped like shortly after it started pursuing us. But yeah, we got all the way to the trucks. Corey had a gun in his truck, lit off a couple of shots to let him know we're here and to try to scare him away, but he didn't care. He sat there by the lake watching us the whole time. So we moved camp.
Probably smart.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get eaten by a grizzly bear. But yeah, that was the scariest moment of my life, running away from a grizzly bear that was charging at us. That was terrifying.
I like how they tell you like all you have to do is make yourself appear taller than the bear, so nobody like try to jump on anybody's shoulders. Instead, you just
Yeah,
decide to make a run for your
run.
life. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
it works with like brown bear, black bear.
Okay.
You can very easily scare them away. Every time I've ever encountered a bear, they've took off. Like brown or black bear, they took off. They're more afraid of us. All you need to do is make loud noises, make yourself known, and they're likely to leave. Unless they've got cubs, obviously. But I've never actually. I have encountered them with cubs, but I was on a dirt bike and I just ripped by him. But yeah, no, grizzly bear. First time I've ever seen it. A bear stand its ground and chase us.
So when a 1,000-pound grizzly bear is charging at you, you don't really think about doing that.
Yeah, no, no, you don't. You just think, get out of here right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's crazy.
mhm. And no, there wasn't beer involved. Not yet. It was
Not
too
yet.
early.
You probably need a beer after that,
We
though.
got we got to the next camp spot and started drinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, crack one open for being alive, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, yeah, I got no good stories after that.
Yeah, and
Um,
unfortunately, I didn't film any of the bear encounter.
I was gonna say, man,
Um,
that'd be like your next level of going viral. Like here's like
getting
garage
chased
fire.
by a bear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fire is here. Bear, grizzly
yeah.
bear's like a whole new level.
I almost died by eating my grizzly bear. Some clickbaity. Yeah, no, and as I said, I can't even really use that as like clickbait in a title because I didn't film
That's
any of it. I
unfortunate,
was
man.
way too focused on, surviving and
Yeah,
getting the bear away from us. Like we didn't even think to get the camera out and film this bear that's watching us. We recorded and I said, okay, I'm getting up, we're setting up camp and leaving. And it was like 2 shots and we're out of there because we didn't want to waste time.
oh, Canada things.
And yeah, not true. You just got to go faster than your friend. That's funny. My buddy Corey, who was with me, he thought he was going to be the one dead because I was definitely running faster than him. He thought he was screwed. uh,
Run over the bear next time.
yeah, except we were like half a K from our truck, so we were on foot.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that video? I'll have to find it if you guys can't recall it. But there's a bear that opens the door of a Toyota pickup truck and
Oh,
climbs
just
inside. Have you seen
yeah,
that? Oh,
yeah, I've seen that.
I should find that and post it for you
Their
guys.
bears are smart. They'll know that they can get at food inside your truck
They
if
are
they
smart.
need be. They can get in there. Then again, if you lock your doors, well,
Yeah, yeah.
well, they less of a chance. They weigh enough; they could probably still get their way in if they were absolutely that desperate. But I think they'd rather go eat grass or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm gonna look for that video while I try and do this show here. Um, Nick's got a question. So I have a 22 RE and I want to clean the engine bay. Uh, can I use a hose and just go to town, or should I cover some parts like the alternator? Yeah, I would definitely cover the alternator. I use foil because it kind of like wraps and clings to it better, and it wouldn't hurt to cover the distributor either.
I
Um,
would use a pressure washer and just go to town.
yeah, that's why. Yeah,
I never worry about that stuff. I just make sure to not spray them directly. My thought is the alternator sees enough water with water crossings and stuff like that. The sprinkle of washing around it isn't going to hurt it. So, yeah. That being said, none of my rigs have. That's not true. Let's see, my one is he's got 2 distributors. So I was going to say I was used to not having a distributor, but they're hiding behind the timing cover. So I don't even think of that.
All right, I found the bear video, and we'll get back to the question here. Uh, there we go. Post it for you guys. This Toyota must be destroyed after this bear just rummaged through it. I feel bad for the truck. I'll let you guys watch that. So, yeah, what I do when I clean my engine bay is I'll get some degreaser. What's the gunk is a good one, or even if
Yeah.
you have simple green, just use that. Just don't dilute it much, and spray it on. Let it sit for like 5 minutes, and then I go through and spray it, and it comes off real clean.
I'm just watching the video.
Oh, okay. Here, should we all watch it together here? We'll go over to the right desktop here and watch it all together. It's been a while since I've seen it. Okay, there he is. What kind of bear is that?
Brown bear.
Brown bear. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yo, this bear just hopped up in
Not
this dude's
threatening.
car.
It's like it knew exactly what to do to get in there.
Yeah, he's no dummy.
It just bites the door handle, opens it up, uses the sliders
shit.
or side steps and everything.
Yeah,
It's like he owns the truck.
pretty much. I think he's leaning too.
Yeah. Well, bears aren't light.
Yep.
Hey, come
Got
on.
the snack. You can at least shut the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say how rude.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, he didn't even do that much damage.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. For some reason I was thinking he clawed
I've
up
seen other videos of bears going into trucks and just ruining them.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've seen that specific video actually. Yeah.
So yeah, somebody else said too, do cover the distributors on a 22RE because it does have a bleeder valve. So, especially if you don't have the rubber boot over it, like a lot of them don't. Yeah. So I haven't been doing much as far as projects lately. I finally got all 5 wheels painted on my Land Cruiser, and the tire shop I always go to, I just drop everything off, and then like later the same day they're like, "Oh, hey, your stuff's done." So I actually called them today to take them in and get them switched over, and because I got to bring my 5 wheels I painted, plus I got to take the ones off my Land Cruiser now and bring those in because I'm reusing those tires. And they're like, "Yeah, it's a week out, so give us a call in a week." So my how-to on that is going to be just push back even farther. But it is finally cooling off here. Has it been like super hot up there your way and humid?
Nope.
Okay.
It's gotten cold.
Has it? Okay.
We woke up to negative temperatures camping on the weekend.
Jeez,
It was frozen, ice
Wow.
everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting down to like the 80s and 70s now here, so it's finally going to be like good temperature to actually work out and do some painting. But that video will be coming eventually. Just don't know when. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go, Nick. That's all I've got. I did get a request though. Tell me if you guys would be interested in this. I got a comment on one of my videos of a guy who's interested in me doing kind of like how it works, like show and tell video of the ARB air locker. So if that's something you guys want to know about, let me know and I'll get that video together. You know, I try and keep track of all the requests. So
Sounds like a good idea.
yeah. All right.
Does anything exist
I didn't check yet.
on YouTube as far as
Not sure. But yeah, I'll get on that then. That'll be a quickie. It won't take.
I guess would you do like kind of an everything you need to know about an ARBA lock or air lockers in general? I guess would help
Yeah.
you as far as YouTube search goes. I guess,
Exactly.
but I mean ARB is the standard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be a good idea for a video. If I had one, I would have done that.
Yeah. Surprised I haven't done that yet, actually.
Yeah, I've done lunchbox lockers and e-locker videos, but
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got another request for that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that one next. That'll be a quickie, one day edit and turnaround. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, videos like that take longer for me just for like scripting and stuff because I'll run out of things to say if I'm coming right off the top of my head. So I'll need to make a script to talk about every little detail. Otherwise, I'll forget a lot. And I'll need to go back and shoot more and come back and shoot more while I'm editing. Like, I should have said this.
You like actually like write out word for word, or do you like a
yeah, I read out word for word. Yeah.
Okay. I do that, but then I'm trying to like memorize it, and then I forget it halfway through.
So yeah, I do that. I write it word for word, but it never translates to what I wrote it to. Okay. But as long as I hit the key points that I wrote out word for word, it's pretty much what it helps out with. Because I can never memorize them either. Because you're trying to say them like whole paragraphs at a time for editing's sake, right? But yeah.
Yeah, and then your video is like 10 minutes long for like 5 minutes of video because you screw up so many times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I stick to like kind of like almost like bullet points now, so I can just get the idea and then.
That's fair.
Together, but yeah, because I mean I don't know about you, man, but my hard drive is like it's probably about 85% full right now.
I've got four terabyte hard drives, and the last one is like I've only got 100 gigs left, so I got one video left.
Oh, jeez. Wait, you said you had four terabyte, or you have a
Yeah,
four? You have
four
you've got
terabytes.
16 terabytes of hard drive space. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh!
an average video is like 60 to 70 gigs for me.
Wow, man, I don't feel wasteful at all now. I have a 3 terabyte hard drive,
Yeah.
just the built-in one, and that's got
Mhm.
like everything on it for work and
Yeah, no,
personal
mine
and
are all built in. They're not external either. I keep adding them in the system.
okay. Oh, you got a tower, you got a
Yeah,
PC.
I got a tower, so it's pretty easy for me to add hard drives.
Yeah, I've got an
But
iMac, so I'm screwed. That's gonna be an external
yeah,
drive sitting on my desk here soon.
you don't shoot 4K or anything though, right?
No, that's
Yeah,
probably why.
that's making that switch is what like has hurt my hard drive space the most.
I can't
And I've been
imagine.
doing 4K for 3 years almost now.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I'm curious. Actually, guys, let me know. Like, what do you guys watch our videos on? Is a smartphone, desktop? Do you blow it up on your 4K TV? I'm curious. Um,
I've you know what's funny? I've never ever actually seen one of my videos in 4K. None of my displays or TVs or nothing actually plays in 4K. So I'm editing it and distributing it like on a 1080p monitor, but I've never actually seen any of my videos in full res.
yeah, I'm stuck in 1080 right now, just for the time being.
My thought for the Switch was like I thought maybe YouTube would start promoting it more in the future, like when the normal is 4K everything, that they would just start showing 4K videos more than whatever, because you don't really see 720p or less videos
Right.
being promoted now. You do occasionally, but I think 1080p is probably what YouTube favors at the moment. So that was my thought process when I made the Switch. But I don't know. My camera shoots 4K, so actually my camera shoots 6K, but I use 4K.
Nice.
So, and that's pretty much the limit of my hardware for editing too is 4K.
Yeah, I'm just a smaller scale all around. I've only got 3 terabytes. I've only got 1080.
Yeah.
I bought my DSLR. It was I don't know a few years ago, probably like 5 years ago now. And the month after I bought it, they came out with the same version but in 4K. And I was kind of like,
Yeah.
oh man, I guess I'm never going to 4K for a while. But,
That's funny.
yeah, but anyways, we're back on track here.
iPhone 12 and iPad Pro play them in 4K. Okay, but on a tiny little screen, you can't tell that 4K is 4K.
No, you can't.
You can't. I find it hilarious when phone manufacturers brag how much resolution they pack into these, and it's like you can't tell the difference. I
Right.
haven't been able to tell like a clearer screen on my phone since like my S6. You can tell the newer refresh rates, like how sputtery smooth they are, but not the actual resolution, in my opinion. But yeah, we can get back to Toyota stuff.
Isaac says, get a GoPro. I'm using my, this is a GoPro, what is this, the Hero 5
Session?
Session? Yeah. And I got this, I actually traded some parts for it. And I have a Hero 4 as well. But the lens got
I
scratched
got
on it.
yeah. I got faux pros.
Oh, nice.
I call them fake GoPros. They don't get used. They're trash.
Yeah.
It says 4K, but it's not.
I got all this equipment and I'd say 5% of my video is filmed on my iPhone just because it's durable. It's in my pocket all the time.
I sometimes use filler footage from my phone. Like I'll add a couple shots that I took on my phone, but I haven't had a video that was filmed like primarily on my phone probably since 2017.
Wow. I feel like really unprofessional tonight.
I don't know. I have the gear, so I use it.
Yeah.
It's actually easier to film on a DSLR than it is your phone, I think.
Yeah.
But especially because the audio is better. You can change your zoom. You can get better depth of field.
Yeah.
And slow motion.
Yeah.
Phones do slow motion, but they do a terrible job at it.
Yeah, mine does slow, but it's only in 720. It doesn't even do 1080. This is an
Yeah, so
iPhone
does mine.
6.
Mine does some ultra slow, but it's garbage. I
Yeah,
wouldn't actually use it in the video, but it's cool.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we're getting sidetracked. We can
Yeah,
go back
we
to
are.
Toyota stuff.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, let's get back to the show here. Roger, yeah, there are some 70 series in the U.S. and we looked at some. I think it was last show. There was one or two for sale. It might have been the show before that. I'll have to go back and check. But yeah, there are some in the U.S. I think I saw that on. It might have been Facebook or was it Bring a Trailer? One of the two. But yeah, check out Bring a Trailer, eBay, um, for some 70 series, and I'm sure there's some out there. Good trucks, though, for sure. Let's see here. Speaking of, let's go over to the email and check out Isaac's truck.
Sounds great.
Right desktop. Okay, let's see. Last show. We'll start here. 1988 Toyota Sr5. It was his great grandfather's truck and his dad's truck. 300,000 miles. Yeah.
Looks like it's been parked under a tree.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like it's done some work in his day too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. A V6
its box
swap.
is still a box.
Yeah, yeah. It's not even hardly. I see like a tiny seam of rust there, or
Yeah,
line of rust there, and that's it. You must be in the Northwest, I would guess. Oregon, Washington area. Let me know. Oh, here it is. He just says it in the email. Sitting for 4 years in the Northern California redwoods.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Wow, that's not even rust. It's like algae or whatever.
It's just a little bit of dirt packed in there.
That would power wash right off.
I would love to see a time lapse of that truck being power washed.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be
that
awesome.
would be so satisfying. I bet seeing all the moss and stuff get blown off of it.
Blast all those pine needles off.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the junk in the rain gutters too. I bet you got a lot behind the chrome trim too.
Yeah. Jimmy from Snail Trails in the chat.
Oh, hey, what's up, Jimmy? Hey, man, this is our first episode using Zoom, so we are making great technological advances. So one of these days, we're gonna figure out how to get 3 people on the show.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. If you guys are
great,
if you guys aren't regulars, we tried I think twice now to get Jimmy on the show, and it's always been some technical issue, one time or another. So
the show is plagued with technical issues from the get-go.
It is.
First couple of episodes, we had no audio.
Yeah. It's not you, it's us, man. It's the inside of the truck. Whoa, zoom out there. I've never seen a all tan interior before. It's always black here on every truck I've had, or blue, or gray, but never seen a tan one.
Or red.
It would be red, but I've never had one with red. But yeah, never seen a tan one. That's kind of rare. Tan shift knob and everything. Pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right. I can't say I've seen a tan interior on a second gen before ever.
I mean, I've seen the tan dashes and the tan door panels and kick panels, but this is always black right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the shift knobs and the boots are always black, so that's kind of cool.
Jimmy's down for a 3-way.
Nice. Yeah, there it is. Pretty clean, given the year.
No, when he says V6 swap in the future, are you thinking 3.4 or?
I hope he's thinking 3.4.
not a 3-liter.
I will say if you go with the 3-liter or the 3.4, I can say from experience of doing it, you'll need the engine mounts need to be relocated a few inches, and you'll need the front and rear drive shafts, and you'll need the cross member from the V6 truck, because we're actually doing that on the Gambler vehicle right now.
I've seen a couple of 22REs that were V6 swap, but they were done in like the 90s when guys just wanted the bigger engine option back before the 3.4s got really popular to swap in, or really available, I guess. But I don't think very many people ever swap in a 3-liter in place of a 22RE now.
No. They not with the reputation they have.
It's great. It's a good reputation.
I will say though, man, I've always been a four-cylinder guy, um, and that 3 liter we got, which had sat for 5 years just outside,
Yeah.
it fired right up and it revs awesome. It's a good motor.
Yeah.
At this point, we haven't driven it far yet, so we'll see. But yeah, a six-cylinder engine could be a couple different ones. So let us know what you're thinking about. Let's see. Yeah, 3.4 if you can get your hands on one for sure.
Super easy to come by.
Yep.
And super cheap. Well,
Yeah.
relatively cheap.
3.4 with the R151F and transfer, and just drop that in with everything else we talked about, and you'll have a nice setup.
Yes.
So you can tow a boat and a small trailer. How big is this boat? I used to tow with my my 85, which has a very whooped and tired 22R, and wasn't happy about it, but it did all right.
I used to tow with my 3-liter automatic. That was a joke. That automatic wasn't like just didn't want anything to do with towing.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything more than like a tent trailer, but it still hated it.
Really? Man,
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
That the autos in those old trucks they're just bad. They very rarely are still good. It shifted just fine. It just never wanted to shift. Like it didn't shift hard or anything. It would just and just always be searching. It was weird. Manual swap certainly wakes those 3 liters up.
I was looking for a picture. I used to tow. I don't have it anymore. I don't think. Well, here's the most recent thing I towed with my. Actually, no. The most recent thing I towed was a trailer full of 4 yards of mulch, and my truck was not happy with that. I think I made a short video on that, but I used to have it. Oh, what's that?
I'll say I put a V8 in my truck, and I no longer have the ability to tow because I bobbed at the same time and took my trailer hitch off.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've got more power, and now I can't tow.
Yeah. But this was good. This was a 3-seater. It's about, I don't know, 900 pounds, but plus a trailer. And this is all right. But I had a double trailer with 2 of these on it before, and it was not good. I would not recommend that at all. And yeah, I don't know where if I have the mulch picture, but that was bad. I was like, even the brakes were angry, so would not recommend doing that. Plus, I had 2 yards in the bed of the truck, so I had a total of 6 yards of mulch, I think. Bad idea.
Your brakes were angry, eh?
Oh yeah, and
don't you have the IFS brakes and everything on that thing?
Yeah, they're V6 brakes from a 94 V6 4Runner, and they're like massive. And I got the vented rotors and the larger.
The drums, like, did you move the IFS rear end over too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's got the bigger.
So you got the bigger drums.
Yeah, I didn't do the booster though, so that could be why. I mean, but I was like standing on the brakes more than I ever had before. It was just kind of like barely slowing down.
Just not having it.
Not happy. No. Luckily, I had a short drive.
We put a V6 booster in my brother's 85, and that made a huge difference as far as braking power goes.
All
right. But he's running the V6. No, he's running the V6 calipers in the front, but he's still the 85 drums in the back. But yeah, the booster made a huge difference. Or not booster, master made a huge difference.
Okay.
But he's running the V6 booster too. We swapped that at the same time. So
now,
that
is that booster a dual diaphragm?
It was whatever. I don't know what is stock on the A or 90 Toyota pickup V6.
Okay, that I don't know.
Yeah, we just went on Rock Auto and got brand new booster and master for a 3rd gen pickup.
Okay.
V6.
Because I know on the 2nd gen pickups, I think it's the 1 tons, and I know the turbos use a dual diaphragm booster, which I guess is just like, stops on a dime pretty much. And I had one, and one of the studs snapped off of it because it was so rusty. Yeah. So I guess they're really expensive to buy new, unfortunately.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, all right, back to the emails here. By the way, guys, if you want to send us your truck, let me find the email address. I'll do it here. You can just copy and paste
It's also pinned,
and pinned
right?
at the top. Yep.
Yeah.
It's Toyota Tuesdays at gmail.com. Make sure you put the S in because I don't get a lot of your emails, and it makes me wonder if Toyota Tuesday is getting them all. Let's see here. Go back. This is a question from Steve. Got this a little bit a while ago here. I was wondering if you could provide or an update on how your Cougar headlights are working after some time now. Um, he's in Germany, can't watch live, but he'll catch up on the show the next day. So yeah, if you guys recall, I did a video a while back where I put LED headlights into my 1994 Land Cruiser, and this was the Japanese Land Cruiser, not the American one. So they use a different setup. You can see they've got the yellow fog lights integrated, and they use one H4 bulb for the high and low beams. But I replaced these two bulbs here, and it's been fine so far. I haven't had any issues. Really, it's no complaint at all with the bulbs. The only
Nice.
weird thing that's happened, and I don't know, maybe you know why, it's got to be something to do with like the resistance of the factory, the halogen bulbs. I no longer have a bright icon that lights up on my dash.
Oh, that
Yeah,
is interesting.
it's weird.
I haven't seen that. I had a company send me LED bulbs for my Corolla that I've been running the last like month or so, but I did not experience that with
Okay.
mine. It's still normal. It still shows the indicator and everything.
The weird thing is, I never noticed, and then somebody watched the video also with an imported 80 and
Yeah.
did the same mod that I did, installed those bulbs, and they asked me like, "Hey, does your bright signal work?" And I was like, "Hey, it doesn't." Come to think of it, I never even noticed. But
Hmm.
yeah, so if you're driving around and you got your high beams on, you won't know. So
You won't know. Yeah.
be
People will just be
mindful of
flashing
that.
you.
Yeah. So that's the only issue, Steve, that I've had, and yeah, kind of. I don't know if it's worth messing with or trying to even figure out because I don't know. Electrical stuff like that is not my forte. I know a lot of cars, if you install like LED taillights or turn signal bulbs, the flasher will be way off and
Yeah, and
flashing.
you need to put a resistor in line or whatever.
Yeah.
But LED headlights have the little module behind them that I think just controls all that, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Or mine did anyways. They got a little box that I attach behind the bulb.
Hmm.
What is it called? I forget what it's called. There's some sort of little computer module that goes behind it.
Okay.
Yours didn't have that. Was it just more less plug and play?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a direct replacement for the bulb. It just had like the
And
fan.
the wiring harness goes right into the bulb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be missing something in there,
Okay.
at least with that company's bulbs.
Yeah. Because I've had
Because yeah,
some black lights
yeah,
that had that
okay,
box. But yeah, that could be something to do with it. Yeah, just maybe just cheap bulbs. I don't know.
yeah,
Uh,
mine were sent to me from some company that reached out to my YouTube channel, asked if I wanted them. So sure, I'll give it a shot.
do you get
I've
offers
also, I
for?
do, yeah, I've got headlights coming from my truck too, just
Yeah.
from I think Oxbeam's a company,
Oh,
and
Oxbeam. Yeah,
they didn't want a review or anything. They just said we just want to sponsor you these. I'm like, sure, I'll take some LED headlights for my truck.
that's cool. Yeah, they contacted me through Instagram. They sent me like a whole spreadsheet list. Like, hey, you want to pick something out and like
So yeah,
install it?
yeah, they did that to me. They messaged or they commented on my YouTube channel. They sent me message on Instagram. They sent me an email. They sent me a message on Facebook. They really wanted to work with me.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
They
like two
must have
weeks
been making
ago.
the rounds, man.
But I got headlights coming from them.
That's cool. Yeah, I got some 7-inch driving lights coming for my Land Cruiser.
Nice. That's hilarious. How about you,
Um,
Jimmy? You got anything coming from?
yeah.
That's funny.
Um,
Uh,
Jimmy, no, I did not add any new wiring or resistors to the system when I did the LED headlights. It was just a replacement H4 bulb, and that could very well be why the icon, the warning light, no longer works in the dash. Yeah, Nick, upcoming projects. It's going to be LED week here on both of our channels.
yeah,
We should time
apparently.
it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I would say every week I get people, companies, usually from China, being like, "Hey, do you want some LED bulbs for?" I'm like, I already have them, but I'd say
Yeah,
once a week I get an offer.
yeah. Very rarely do I follow through on these, especially because a lot of the time they want like a full review video dedicated to them, and I just don't do that kind of videos on my
Right.
channel. But if they don't want that, then yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
um, but
Yeah, or I got like sometimes they'll send me like an extra set and I can do a giveaway. I'm like, yeah, sure, man. It's free stuff for
yeah,
you guys. That's cool.
yeah, I did that with like when I did my e-locker harness in my truck. When I got sent an e-locker harness, I asked them for another one to do a giveaway when I
That's
had
cool.
10,000 subscribers. I think that was the celebration giveaway or something I had.
Yeah.
It was the e-locker harness. And now we're about to hit 20K, I think, next month.
Nice, man. Congrats.
Yeah,
Moving on up.
thank
Moving
you.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing do a giveaway here. In another 5K, I'll hit my 50K mark. So I'm gonna do a giveaway for that, something for the Toyota fans, since you guys like are most of my audience at this point, probably. So something for you guys. But
Mhm.
back to questions here. Let's see. How much can the 22RE tow? That's a good question. I guess. Well, there's a lot. Tow reliably, safely, or like tow and not die. I mean, they can go through a lot.
3,500 pounds, according to the
No,
bumper or whatever.
no way, really.
Oh,
I'm
that's what my 3 liter said.
oh, wow, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah.
Um,
It said max 3,500.
yeah, like I said, I was towing about 2,000 pounds with my 22R on my 85, and I did not feel comfortable pushing anything past that. It was,
Yeah, I'm not saying you should
yeah, yeah,
by
sure, yeah.
any means.
And I live in
But
Ohio, northern Ohio, where it's pretty flat, so definitely would have been sketchy in a lot of hills.
yeah.
Um, Garage topics. Um, Toyota YouTuber checking in. Have y'all witnessed Toyota rust occur over the time you guys owned a Yoda? My current first gen Tundra has shown no signs of rust in 2 years, but I'm in the south. Oh well, you're good, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I'm constantly doing rust repairs on mine. I did all the bodywork on my box when I got it, and I had to redo all of it when I did the Bob last year. So like 4 years later,
man,
it had new rust holes.
but that is your daily.
It's just yeah, exactly. Well, it's not my daily.
Oh,
It ish. Um, my daily's the Corolla, but it's also my wife's daily. But when she's using it, I use the truck. But I don't leave the house all the time because I work from home. So I wouldn't consider it my daily, but I probably put more miles on it than your average wheeler does their Toyota pickup.
but it does see road salt.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it gets driven more probably in the winter because I love snow wheeling.
Yeah.
And snow wheeling, you get ice and snow packed everywhere underneath the truck and up in the fenders and in the box.
Yeah.
So that probably doesn't help.
Um, yeah, and I like I've repainted and restored my 85 6 years ago now. Yeah, so I've got no rust coming back on that yet, but there is rust on the frame underneath. So I need to get to work on that next. Um,
Yeah.
and the frames they rot from the inside out. So once it starts, it's basically cancer. I mean, you're gonna replace the frame a section at a time, until it's all new, and then that first section replaced is running out again. So it's kind of a never-ending battle on these trucks.
Yeah. Got to go buy a new frame.
Yeah.
You can
And
still get brand new frames for these trucks from the dealer. Like I think it was 4,500 bucks I was quoted for it.
really, for
Yeah.
third gens.
For a third gen, yeah, you can buy a brand new frame for. Nope, that was second gen.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I've seen them online. Like some dealerships have them, like a couple of them,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
assumed.
You can go to any dealership and buy a brand new frame for your truck.
Okay.
But I
Man,
mean, might be what a lot of people are going to have to do in the near future with
right.
how much they're rotting nowadays. But
Yeah.
yeah,
When I get, I don't know, whatever number of subs, that's gonna be like my benchmark. 1 million
replace the
subs.
frame.
I'm
Just
gonna
put a
make a
brand new
video
frame in the
going to
truck.
the dealership, putting a stack of $4,000 cash in a counter and loading up the frame.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow because I mean that's what the whole truck costs I mean, depending on what truck you're buying, and my truck cost me $4,000 to buy initially. And then you're spending that on a frame, but That being said, I guess when you're doing dual transfer cases, that's almost that much. When it's all said and done, that really nickels and dimes you and all the other mods.
Yeah.
So at this point, it wouldn't be that bad. But if you're buying a truck and to put a new frame in it, that would hurt.
Yeah.
Or had to put a new frame in it right away, that would hurt.
Or just go down south and buy a truck.
Or just go down south and buy a truck.
A plane ticket is
Especially
nowhere near $4,000, you know.
especially if you live in the States and don't have to worry about importing and duty and whatever else bringing it across the border.
Yeah.
Plus, your trucks aren't cheap anymore.
That too, yeah.
The Canadian trucks are cheaper to buy. So.
That is true. But the other thing about the second gens, well, and the first gens, is that they made the bed in an unconventional way. They kind of like pieced it together. Whereas, I don't know, I could draw like a quick picture here. Here, get a piece of scrap paper here.
Now open up Paint on your computer and draw it for
we'll
us.
do it in Paint. We'll give Photoshop a minute here to open up.
Yeah.
We'll do it live. But yeah, you know, Toyotas, maybe Nissans too. I don't know. All the Japanese trucks had these weird multi-piece beds through the 80s, and they had like this hollow panel behind the outside. There, we'll do this live in Photoshop here. File. All right. Toyota Tuesday version MS Paint. All right, let's go over here. Right desktop.
I'm keen to see what your drawing skills are like.
Yeah.
Although you
Okay.
do graphic design, don't you?
Yeah.
You should be a professional here.
I hope so. We'll see. Now it's a lot of pressure. All right, so this is looking at the bed from the back. You've got the corrugated
My other monitor.
floor pan. You know, this is all freehand, by the way. But you know, you got the floor that goes like that across, and then that's one piece, and you've got your wheel wells. That's another piece, and then you've got the.
I'm already impressed.
Oh well, excellent. I was thinking, you know how like sometimes I think it was like South Park, the guy was drawing on the weather map and ended up looking like a giant dong. You ever see that episode? I should work that in. And then you've got the outer bed section, which goes down to I don't know, we'll say right about there, and on both sides here, and that's a piece. And then you've got actually no, it goes down to here actually. Yeah, it goes down to right there. And of course, you know, these wheel wells, they don't go all the way to the back, so you've got this little continues on here. And then you've got what's called they call it, like, I've heard them call it the cocaine panels, because I guess smugglers love this design back in the 80s, where you've got little tabs here and here going all the way across the bottom, and there's that sheet of metal that screws into this going across. So the problem with these beds is, then I forgot one more piece down here that goes in. So the problem with the bed design is on the first gen, well actually I shouldn't say that, first gen doesn't even have this piece here. This is solid. So if you have like a pallet in the back of your bed and you make a hard right turn, the pallet slams into this and hits this and actually puts like a dent on the outside. That's the problem with the first gen. So the second gen,
apparently they're a lot easier to bob though.
Are they? I guess so.
According to my buddy Skyler, who had that 8-foot box that he bobbed, because he bobbed a third gen box before that. And then he said, the first gen was way easier.
That was such a nice bed too, man. I would have donated organs to have that bed.
It looks really good bobbed.
It does though. I think you showed me a picture of it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you know, you're parking under trees and you're off-roading and you get water and dirt and muddy water that sits in here and accumulates, and then especially when you mix in the road salt and the salt water that sits down in there, and that's what causes the rust to start here. I should use brown for this part, but it starts here and then it starts bubbling here and it eats its way up, and I've seen it where it rusts so bad that this bottom section like completely just like falls off. I've seen trucks without this section here. So it's basically just a bad design. You'd have to take these panels off and I'd say do some sort of, I don't know, fluid film inside there regularly and cleaned behind there. And no one just knew that until it was too late. So that's the problem with the first and second gen beds is they're just that multi-piece design and they have that seam that's just going to hold junk and rot out. Third gen beds were not built like that. They were built more like your Rangers and F-150s and Chevys and so forth.
Yeah.
And every bed on. Toyota figured it out after what a good decade or so. That
They still rot really bad though.
They do.
I
They
mean,
do. But
the especially that one that you had on your channel not too long
oh
ago,
yeah.
the super rusty one, that one was so gone.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it, I think, just boils down to how well taken care of the trucks were through their life, and where they lived, and yeah.
Yeah. See, here's that 89, but you can see it's one solid piece here, and they just rot from the bottom up like traditional beds. But
Yeah.
this one was still pretty bad. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, it's all bubbles up to about
So
right here.
my truck had the factory, the chrome trim piece around the wheel arch.
Yes.
That caused like 90% of the rest of my box was just that little piece of chrome. Same with the front fenders had the same piece of chrome, and it was just full of holes behind it.
just holding in all that road salt.
Yes, exactly. Just holding in. But.
Yep, man. This is why we can't have nice things. But yeah, a Tundra, they figured it out, and it should be better, especially if you're in the South. So no worries, you should be good.
I've seen Tundras routing on the inside of the box, like
Okay.
in the stamped wavy portion of it by the box mount, just behind the wheel well. It was actually fairly common for those to rot there.
All right, good intel there.
Yeah.
That's right. You have parted out a Tundra or two, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used to work at a Toyota dealership, so I've seen those on like trade-ins and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a second gen Tundra problem.
Oh, interesting. See, Igor, I have the same problem with the high beams on my 87 4Runner after going to LED. Um, Now uh, the Toyota trucks up to I think 97 that use the sealed beam halogen headlights. When you replace those with LED, you got to use an H4 conversion harness. If you look at I did a video maybe 2 weeks back, I think, and I showed how to do that and install that harness. If you don't have that harness, you're going to be either on high beams or low beams all the time. But it's interesting that you have that problem, but just your light doesn't work. So I'm curious, did you use the H4 harness, or did you use sometimes they come with like a universal, like a 3-pin harness just to swap the wires around. But for Toyota, you got to have that H4 harness. But it's interesting that your high beam light still doesn't come on. That's new. Yeah, snail trail. Nothing coming from Oxbeam, but they did hit me up.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, they're making their rounds, at least in the Toyota off-road world. I'm sure they do a bunch of small automotive channels.
Yeah, well, like all their stuff now is on Jeeps, so I'm guessing they're trying to branch out to the superior off-road vehicles.
What I got coming is actually a sealed beam from a Jeep, but it's the same size sealed beam light that would work in my truck. So yeah, sending that over. Yeah, I'm gonna need the H4 conversion harness and whatever else. So
yeah. Nick, are either of you going to buy any more Toyotas for the channel in the future? Well,
yeah,
I gotta say yeah. I mean, unless we're planning on retiring anytime soon, this is going to be an ongoing thing for me at least. Mm-hmm. I assume you're all in too.
Yeah, I got a second Gen 4Runner coming soon.
Ooh, yeah, nice. That's cool. I've got one on the back burner already. It's my 1980 long bed. Just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. But I need to kind of focus on one thing for a while. That's going to be my new thing is focus on one thing and the things I already have because they're constantly needing maintenance because they're old. Let's see. Well, yeah, winter salt kills in 1 year. Yeah. Sent you an email. Ooh, okay. Looks like Snail Trail 4x4 is considering picking himself up another project for his channel. Let's go check it out. Let's see here. looking at getting this truck. Loading. Wow. Oh, there you go. 1986 Toyota pickup, 4 grand. 22,000 miles. Automatic. Oh, turbocharged. Nice. For 4 grand. Dude, that's those trucks, turbo trucks are not cheap. That's a pretty good deal. Let's see, flatbed. And you know it's rust free because you're in California. Nice. There's a little bit of love on the inside for sure, but that body has no rust on it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the turbo seats of these trucks.
But turbos came up a specific seat?
Yeah,
Was it say turbo on them?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Worth big money if you ever come across a set. Have you ever seen, Clinton, the digital clusters that the turbo trucks had?
No, I didn't.
Well, that
I've never
some
seen
had.
it.
This one doesn't have it.
I've
But
never seen a turbo truck.
I've seen I think 1 or 2 that had it. Must be a pretty rare option. It's the coolest, most 80s thing you've ever seen in a Toyota. It's I'll have to find a picture of it. But shoes for 4 grand, like this truck would be sold a day in Ohio. You know, this could have a 22R and it'd be sold in a day. And this has got the 22 RTE, so this is a hell of a deal, man. I guess being the automatic might be bringing it down in price a little bit. Everyone wants a 5-speed. I think the auto might be hurting in price a little bit, but I mean, that's something you Jimmy, that's something you're capable of swapping over, which I'm sure you probably would.
Well, the what is it, R151 behind those?
Yeah, R151.
Those are worth good money.
Oh, they are.
Because they go up to the gear-driven transfer case.
Yeah.
with the 23 spline upgrade and everything. So
yeah, those are big bucks for sure.
They're sought after, yeah.
Okay, that's all the emails I got here. Oh wow, we got 5 more minutes here. I've got a bunch of classifieds. Let me catch up on questions, and we'll look at a couple here if we have any more minutes left in the show. I'm currently building a 20R carburetor while watching this. Nice. Stock or Weber? B-Dog bought an 88 pickup from Louisiana. It was parked in 2008 because the exhaust manifold started leaking, and the guy never got around to fixing it. $800. Dang. Nice. Had to buy a new tank. You stole it, man.
You did steal it, yeah. It sounds like my brother's 85. It was also sitting for ever, like 15 years when we got it. And we got it running because it didn't have a gas tank. We had to source one of those, and we got it running on brake clean, just spraying it directly in the intake. Got that 22RE running.
Is that bad? Brake clean, is that bad to use as a starting fluid?
I don't know. We use it all the time.
I've used it too. We used it on that 3-liter, and it worked. But you gotta wonder I just wondered if that was healthy.
I have no idea. I learned that from an old farmer. I've just always used it. It's cheap.
It sure is. I'm trying to find the digital gauge cluster for Toyotas. I want to find a video so you guys can see it like in action, but I can't find one. They are cool. Let's see here. There it is. Okay, back over here. Over here on Yoda Tech. There it is. I would love to have that until something stopped working. But it's got this turbo boost gauge meter thing that kind of like lights up and goes up like that as it builds boost.
So the one UZ I got came with the gauge cluster, and it looks so similar to this. And it was, I think, 92 LS200. It looked very similar. The all the gauges are identical to that.
Oh, cool.
So I think, yeah, that same style cluster moved over into the Lexus line.
Nice. I wonder if that was standard on the Lexus or if that was like an option for them as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I'd imagine it was probably standard on a Lexus, so.
Yeah, it is pretty upscale.
Seeing how they're kind of a high-end line of Toyota.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could find one that had actually was like being revved up because I'm pretty sure it changes color as it goes up. It's been a while since I've seen one. Let's see.
Is there a
Yeah,
video?
I looked. I didn't see one here. No. Hey, my video. No, I don't see one. All right, I'll look for one, and if I find it, we'll look at it in a another show here. But let me get back to those last few questions. Okay, where were we? How much horsepower will the turbo gain? I want to say, are they 140 horse? 140 or 160? I don't know off the top of my head. I forgot. I'm gonna guess 140 because I remember thinking it's not an awful lot for being a turbo.
It brings it up to like the V6
Yeah,
power numbers
pretty much.
essentially. Actually, I don't even get even. I think the 3 liters technically, I think it's 146. But it probably doesn't make the torque that the V6 does either, even if a turbo.
Yeah. Nick, that would have been a steal. 350 for a pair of turbo seats. I've seen them go for like $800. Obviously in a nice condition. Um, yeah, Snail Trail, man, pick it up. Definitely pick it up. It's a good deal. Could you put a jump seat in the extra cab? Is it possible? I thought about this long and hard because I needed something bigger, which ended up being a Land Cruiser. But in my 85, you only have 2 feet behind, like from the back of the seat to the cab wall. Um, or is it 2 feet or is it 18 inches? I forget. But what I know,
Feet seems like a lot.
yeah, I think the third gen's got 2 feet,
Yeah.
and they got a rear seat. I think the extra cab might be 18 inches. And you look at all the old Rangers and the S10s that have that jump seat, and they are 2 feet. So it's really, I mean, unless your seat is about like a foot wide, there's no way you can put a custom jump seat in the back of an extra cab. And I would just feel sorry for whoever sat back there, anyways. And probably really unsafe too. So no, I wouldn't recommend it, and I have not seen it done on an extra cab. I've seen lots of talk about it, but I never saw it happen. Um, you got to buy a third gen, like Clinton did.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking of my rear passengers when I bought mine, though. You know how often I have somebody back there? Almost
I
never.
was gonna say it's got to be pretty miserable.
When I was in high school, because my first truck was a third gen pickup, and I had all 5 seats used once.
Oh man.
5 people in one of those, which there was 5 seat belts, but there should not be allowed to have 5 people in those.
Yeah.
But because they had the bench, and there's a middle seat in the bench in the front, and then 2 in the back. So yeah, that was nuts. But that was when I was in high school. I had lots of friends.
I hope that was like a short ride at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a short ride.
Let's see here. How come every single 4Runner I've owned, 3, has had creaky torsion bars when hitting a bump at a sharp turn? Quick fix. I am not an IFS expert. I don't consider myself to be an IFS expert. What, if you guys are in the comments, what would be causing a creaking at a sharp turn?
It's not your torsion bars. It's a bump stop. So my truck used to do this too, and it would drive me nuts. It's as when you're like full lock. There's a little rubber or not plastic piece that's on that stops you, or on your steering stop, that wears through, and you hear it like make a really loud creaking noise when it rubs. That's what it is, and it's super cheap and easy fix. I highly doubt it's a torsion bars if it's when you're turning.
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
mine used to do that all the time, and it was so loud. It took me a bit to remember about that, but yeah, I remember when I was IFS and I had that, but I never ended up fixing it. But I know of the fix, and it's really cheap.
Excellent.
But
Let's see here. Oh, this was the $800 Yoda. You're the second owner. That's awesome. All OG papers. That's awesome. Yeah, categorize or tuck all that away somewhere safe because that definitely increases the value of the truck if you were ever to flip it or sell it. Let's see here. We got to catch up here. We're running over.
also looks like Jimmy agrees with steering stops.
There you go.
There too.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys, we're talking about Jimmy from Snail Trail 4x4. We mentioned him before in the show. If you guys aren't subscribed, get over there, subscribe to Snail Trail 4x4 because I'd say it's kind of a mix of Dirt Garage and Sixth Gear Garage. He does a lot of off-roading, does a lot of how-tos. So definitely check him out. And he's got, I think he's been doing videos not as long as we have, but he's got a ton of videos. So a lot of content to check out.
Yeah.
How much do you think to get my truck running? I have no. Okay.
That's a lot of context there.
I just got lost. This was what truck was this? I'm scrolling back up. Was this the guy that was doing the V6 swap? Yeah, it was, I think. Okay, my bad. Too many Toyotas here. Would seats fit? All right, these are pretty vague questions here. I'm gonna say, depending on the year, if you want to get direct bolt-in seats, you gotta stick with the same generation. So I'm assuming it's a second gen. I think we talked about that. So 84 to 88 seats, or 89 4Runner, same thing.
Unless you're feeling crafty and have a welder.
Or you want to weld. Yep. Don't do sketchy things. I've
bought
trucks.
I'm not encouraging that.
No,
but
I have bought some sketchy mounted seats in trucks before, where there's either like 2 or 3 bolts, or like a bolt going to like a metal tab, which has a hole going to another bolt into the floor.
When you get into the chairs like a rocking chair, it's not properly mounted. Yeah, I've been in trucks like that too. It's like, oh my
it's bad.
goodness.
Do it the right way, whatever you do, man. Let's see here. How much to get the truck running? That's an open question. It really depends on a lot of issues. A lot of
like with the V6 swap and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It depends.
Because you need
what you got.
If you're getting a 3.4, you need the 3.4. You need an R150. You need, was it an auto? I don't remember.
But, I can't remember. Yeah.
But yeah, you need a ton of parts.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you are and how mechanically inclined you are, or if you're paying somebody to do all the work or what.
Yeah,
especially V6 swap, you're going to be making custom engine mounts and junk like that, right? Like actually you might be able to buy 22RE to 3.4 engine mounts. I think Chillcat might make that kit.
Okay, good to know.
I think they do. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it.
So yeah. Oh yeah, his was the 5-speed. That's right. Yeah, so you'll want the R150F, which
the 5-speed you have is useless for the V6.
I'd say start collecting parts. It'll be a lot cheaper if you go out and you need it all at once, and you're going to be paying top dollar. I'd say buy a parts truck here and there, or find someone parting out a truck here and there, and piece it together.
Find a complete donor for your 3.4 or your. I know you don't know what engine you're putting in it, but find a complete donor. Then you have as many parts as possible to make the swap work in your truck.
Yep.
Nothing worse than just buying a motor and then having to spend a whole bunch of money on accessories because it didn't come with a power steering pump, or it didn't come with an intake, or it didn't come with ECM or something.
Yeah.
Try to get a complete truck.
Nice thing about complete trucks is you sell off the rest, and often
make money. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's hard to say how much it would cost to get something like that going.
Yeah, a lot of variables there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Yeah, Snail Trail builds Toyotas, and he has all kinds of trucks on his channel. Some that he does, some that are even not his. So there's a variety of generations spanning.
He's got a 3rd-gen pickup wheeler like mine.
Yep.
If you're into the solid axle swap and wheeling stuff.
Actually, I think I do have a picture of his collection here. Oh man, where was that? Gotta check that out here.
What do you recommend, V6 or 22RE? I would recommend going VRZ. I think that's a better upgrade going from a 22RE.
All right, here we go.
You can buy.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. You could buy a bell housing that'll make your 20 or your 3RZ bolt up to the existing transmission that you have in your truck and everything. And And yeah, 3RZs are super easy to come by, and they're extremely easy to wire and make work. Plus, there's engine mount kits to make it bolt into your truck. It's like a win-win-win. And it makes the same power as like a 3-liter V6 does. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And believe me, time is money too, especially if you're using this truck on the daily. You want to knock this out in the weekend.
Yeah.
Do it the easy way. Spend a little bit of money. Excellent advice, but once again, Jimmy coming through. Yeah, it sounds like you might have a vacuum leak. That your engine's bogging down when you're hitting the brakes. So, speaking of Jimmy, let's check out his collection. Snail Trail 4x4 here. And this is his 2016 Tacoma. The daily / overland rig. And this is Bobcat. This is the 3rd gen. It's got a bob bed. Basically, you've had this for I don't know how long. Long time. Been a long time project on the channel. And then we've got Clifford, the tow rig. Beautiful F250. And we have the parts 4Runner. I wonder if that's still around. You still have that? And then we have Samantha, the 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive conversion. So that's the current fleet. So go check it out. Man, you guys are burying us, man. All right, a few more questions. Let's see. The rear sag on. I'm not sure what this is about. I assume you're talking about the 4Runner, the rear sag on the 4Runners. I don't know. But yeah, it's just the extra weight. They got that big heavy cap on them, and they just sag. You can either do a few things. You could replace the leaves. Maybe I guess you could add a leaf. I've seen people do what's called the Zook mod, which is they take a coil spring and they stuff it between the leaf spring and the frame. Few options there. You got any additional options there?
I would have mentioned the Zook mod, but I think we've talked about it before on the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. B-Dog, how come my heater doesn't work and the AC compressor doesn't engage when turned on? Oh man, we got these are some tough questions, you guys. You're really putting us to the test here. Well, you've got two separate problems.
Came with AC.
Yeah, really. It could be some issues. Heater doesn't work, so you're talking there is no hot air, or your fan doesn't turn on. If it's your fan, it could be a bad resistor. That's like a maybe $15-$20 part. It's a little I don't know, like curly, wiry thing with a bunch of white crud on it. On the inside. On the outside, it's just like a plate that bolts onto your blower motor box with like a Phillips head screw. So unplug that, unscrew it, replace it. You should get all your different 4 fan speeds back. If you don't have any heat, I'd say, well, let's do a rundown. You could have an open thermostat. You could have a clogged heater core. You got any, Clinton?
No, you got this.
Okay. That's about all I got for no heat. Maybe your cable behind your switch broke or fell off, and you're not actually moving anything. Although you probably feel no resistance if that was the case. So that could be no heat. AC compressor doesn't engage. That could be a lot of things. One, I think the main one is low pressure. When those systems get low, pretty sure I know like newer cars do this. They intentionally don't engage the clutch for the AC because without enough fluid inside the system, it can like burn it up. So it's kind of like it keeps itself from destroying itself basically. Let's see. And that would be because you have a leak somewhere. Most likely, probably the condenser. It gets all the rocks and the chips and stuff over time and just begins to leak. Or you got a line or a fitting that's rusted out. I'd start there.
I've never owned a vehicle with AC. I've got no input.
No? Man.
No.
I will say it has been nice this summer. It's been a hot summer. In the Land
Yeah,
Cruiser
here
at
too.
least. Okay. Nick, when he goes up a huge hill at 55 with my auto trans, it will downshift to try to keep speed, and it squeals. That's got to be I'm guessing that's just a belt from the high RPM. Have you ever heard an auto trainee squeal?
No.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's got to be one of the belts. Um, that just so happens to squeal when that higher RPM kicks in.
hmm
Oh, this continues. Then I let up on the gas and it's fine. Yeah, definitely something with one of your belts, steering or
Yeah.
alternator.
Check your belts,
Yeah.
your alignment, your tension, all of the above.
Okay. 1988 pickup with a cab on it.
The parts truck, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Back to the. Okay, so new leaves for 4Runner are 300 each plus shipping. Yeah, not bad, but I guess
That's pretty expensive, though.
yeah, it'd be an
I
ideal
pre-
time to go to 63 Chevys if you're
I think
into any kind of off-roading.
I think I paid 500 Canadian for my old man Emus in the
Yeah,
back of my truck, and I would rather throw that in than like a set of stock leaf springs.
yeah.
Yeah, 300 each seems like such an
Oh,
expensive.
each. Oh man, I think I said each, but I just skimmed right over it with my eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
300 for a set of stock sounds like a good idea or a good
Okay.
deal. But
Each.
yeah,
Yeah.
each is expensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, hey, good one. Jimmy coming through again. No heat could be low on water in the radiator. So yeah, you might have a giant air pocket because you might have low fluid. Oh, nope, no, it's full. All right. All speeds on the fan do work, so that eliminates the resistor. Everything works but heat and AC. And I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on that. Unless it's a clogged heater core
That's the only thing that I would think would be is a clogged heater core, yeah,
for the
which
yeah,
is somewhat common if
yeah,
it's never been replaced before. I've had to do it once on my truck, and a couple of my buddies have had to do it on their trucks as well. Just because they're old, they get clogged after 30 years.
yeah.
But yeah,
And you can get the AC system pressure tested to get a reading on that. And then if there is a leak, what they can do is they put in stuff that has this like yellow dye in it, and it really like pops when you shine a black light on it. So they can go through the system with that light and see where it's sort of leaking out and find your problem area. Jimmy Bob, my truck stalls out at idle but runs fine under power. Do you think the issue is the TPS off the airbox?
check your
22R.
intake hoses.
Check your intake hoses. All right. From
Those
the
3 liter, I mean, I guess 22 RE, but it's probably the same. But I've seen just loose intake hoses or cracked intake pipes and stuff that just cause a terrible idle, but they'll still seem to run fine through the rev range. But yeah, you're right. It could be. I don't. It's not a throttle position sensor on the airbox. It's a mass airflow.
mass air. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be that too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Because if you have a bad TPS, it's going to be running worse
in
than
the
just at idle. It's going to be running
yeah,
over through the RPM.
hmm
So yeah, mass airflow or yeah, check for a vacuum leak on that one. Uh, you have to convert to R134. Yeah, yeah, R12 is you can come by it nowadays, but it's extremely expensive. Um, so yeah, some extra expense involved there for sure. Okay, planning on replacing all my vacuum blinds, but don't think this is my main issue. So yeah, maybe it is that mass airflow. Okay, Nick, thinking putting air springs in between a leaf to maybe get rid of the sag. I don't know if I've seen that done. You mean air
Like
shocks?
you're
I
talking
assume
like airbags, yeah.
airbags or shocks. Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's more or less a band-aid
Band-Aid.
fix. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not any cheaper, really. I mean, it is cheaper depending on the bags you get, but yeah, it sounds like more of a band-aid when you can just put better leaves in it.
Yeah.
Unless you have a reason to have those bags in it, like you're planning on towing with it or something, which you're probably not on an old Toyota. Like
Right.
anything that you would need to have airbags for. But yeah.
Um, all right. Advice from Jimmy to B Dog. Have you checked the thermostat and did you burp the air pocket? Yeah. These trucks can be kind of a pain to burp sometimes. I always park them on an incline, like pull up on like ramps or whatever, and that gets the air to the front of the radiator. And I mean, you just with the engine cool, open it, let it idle and heat up, and once that thermostat opens, it'll keep burping the air out and just keep topping that off. Um, I assume you might have done that, but just in case you didn't, that could work for you. Wow, mushroom tip. So the taco he bought for 1,800 bucks from a previous show, the frame was totally frigged. So he sold it for 4,500 bucks. Nice, dude. That's pretty good. That's a good flip.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, Snail Trail. Thanks Jimmy for checking in. A lot of fun on our end as well, and we'll figure this out. We'll have you on the show. It's gonna happen. Um, by the way, speaking of show, this is our last show on my channel. The show will continue on its own channel, which I will post the link to right here. It
Go
is
subscribe.
Yes, go subscribe. I think we had 60 subscribers as of earlier today, so let's get that number up there so you guys can all tune in on future episodes. Um, okay. B-Dog sneaking in here. One more comment, man. I forgot to say that when I rev up my motor and let off my motor, won't die down when the brakes are applied. Okay, maybe do this again. When I rev up my motor and let off, my motor won't die down when the brakes applied, but if I let idle for 10 minutes, it will drag down again. Oh, I'm trying to. my my brain is tired, man. It's been a lot of
Yeah.
questions. Okay, so um, it won't die down when the brakes are applied. Okay, so at higher RPMs it doesn't do it, but at idle it does it. That's
Weird.
that's that's what I'm gathering here. Um, I'd say check. And I can't remember. Did he check the vacuum line or not? Between B Dog and Nick, I'm getting my questions confused here. Okay, B Dog did have the vacuum issue possibly. So yeah, check those vacuum lines. You've got one going from the booster to the intake. Um, that could have a lot to do with it if it's your brakes. Okay, yeah, mushroom tip. We agree, man. It's got to be a vacuum leak. That's our best guess. Mossy Mountain Bike Works. Airlift airbags on a second gen coils totally surprised me. Thought they were a joke. When I opened the box, but they held up for light duty towing. Good to know.
They just straight up replace the coil springs with bags.
I assume they're the
That's
ones
interesting.
that go in the coils. I don't know.
Hmm.
I've never seen one that they could replace one with the other. I don't know.
Well, I've seen people with like 3-link setups in the front use bags instead of coil springs. That's somewhat common nowadays. Like Dirthead Dave did it on his Mazda build.
Oh yeah.
Where they just use airbags now instead of coils or shocks.
Okay, Mossy Mountains. They go in.
Struts.
Okay, so they actually go inside, not replace.
Ah.
All right.
All right, guys.
We got
we gotta wind down here.
Our brains are fried. This has been
Yeah, absolutely. There's way too many technical questions right here at the end of the
between that and
the
just
stream.
being frantic from not having the audio work at the start of the show, man. It's been a long
Yeah.
episode. But no, we appreciate all you guys checking in, all the questions. do me a favor. If you have any questions and you don't want to forget them before the next show in 2 weeks, email toyotatuesdays@gmail.com. Email them to me, and we'll pick them back up on the next show. But we got to sign off because we are going way over.
Yeah. Way over our allocated time slot.
Yes. Yeah, we're way over an hour here. But no, thanks for checking in, and do go over to the new channel and subscribe. I got a link up there in the pinned comment at the top there, and that's where our next show is going to be. So it will no longer be on my channel. We're moving the show.
And really quick before we sign off, I've got a wheeling video coming up Friday.
Nice.
Stay tuned for that. And what do you got coming up?
This week I may not have anything coming up. Everything is just Murphy's Law is getting the best of me, man. Everything that can go wrong has been delayed or will go wrong, or weather's not cooperating. But I think I'll try and work on that air locker video, showing you guys how that works. So
Good idea. Nice and easy.
yeah,
It doesn't require doing anything like adding parts or working on things.
Yeah.
It's more of an explanation. Yeah. Cool.
So
Awesome, guys.
yeah. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight, and we will see you in 2 weeks on the new channel. Send us those truck pictures and questions to toyotatuesdays@gmail.com. And thank you, and have a good night.
Hey, guys.